Hey, welcome to the Dropship Podcast. And today we want to help the beginners. Those of you who are listening to this podcast who have taken the first step, maybe you're in our course, you've got a site up, you're running ads, maybe you're seeing sales, maybe you're not. Some people are breaking even, some people are not. Where should you be in the beginning, or what are the things that you should do to turn those clicks into sales? I think specifically I wrote, help, I'm getting a lot of clicks, but no sales. This comes from some questions from Joshua. I'm gonna butcher this one. You want to try it? Savar. Come on. Let's see what you got there. Joshua Savarplatis and Jeremy from our Slack group. I apologize. I definitely butchered that. You would butcher my last name too, Joshua. So, John, you want to take a stab at it?
I can't find it.
Anyway, so what do you do in the beginning, John? Savarplatis. All right. Yeah. Tell us if we're wrong in Slack, please. Tell us we're silly. What do you do? I think the first thing that comes to mind is people are running ads and then just kind of sitting on their hands and saying, I should be getting sales now, right? And often what we see when I'll hop in there and take a look around is lots and lots of clicks in high priority, few clicks in medium priority, and no clicks in low priority, right? And if you understand how we run Google Ads here at Dropship Breakthru, we're not running performance max. We're running a priority campaign where the least valuable terms we pay the least amount for, and the most valuable terms we pay the most amount for. And it is kind of backwards. High priority is your least valuable terms, and low priority is your highest valuable terms. And so if you're getting all of your clicks on terms like cold plunge or e-bike or pellet grill or sauna, and those aren't converting, that has to be the first place you look and say, I'm getting terrible traffic, right? We often say, get good traffic, and then the rest of the time, focus on your website, right? And so, but the biggest thing I've seen is people aren't getting the good traffic right out of the gates. Is there anything else you're seeing when someone says, I'm getting a lot of clicks but no sales? Like, where do you start focusing?
Yeah. I mean, it's a big. There's quite a bit here, I think, or there's a process to go through. Look, I think in the beginning, it's normal. I want to say that. Like, it's not abnormal to have this happen. So, like, don't think you're doing something wrong. I mean, this is just kind of the process. There is a learning process here that you're going to go through. And yes, I know from the outside, before you get into high-ticket dropshipping stuff, particularly if you've been listening to other people, it can kind of feel like what's going to happen is you're going to flick on Google Ads and all of a sudden the sales are going to start raining in and all of this sort of thing. And I get that. But that's not usually the case. And I would hate to think that we've ever given that impression that it is the case, because I don't think we do. There's some work here involved. Like, you're going into a niche that, every niche is a little bit different. They don't all work out the same. The search traffic is different in different niches. The amount of this type of traffic or that type of traffic, it's all different. You have different competition. Competition is a factor here. And so there's a little period here of kind of working out what works or what's going to work or what traffic is going to convert. It's not just going to click immediately. But yeah, certainly in terms of the process that I work through in these cases, I'm going to go and be looking at the quality of my search terms. So you mentioned this, like, if a majority of your traffic that you're paying for is like really generic, broad search terms, well, that's going to be a good indicator that you're going to get a lot of clicks with not many sales, because that type of traffic usually, there are exceptions, but usually doesn't convert very well. So you need to focus on prioritizing traffic and search terms that are more specific to the actual products you sell, whether that's branded or not branded, whether, or model specific or product ID specific, as we term it. You need to get more. Oftentimes when people first start running ads, you start with bids, right? You're bidding, and you're going to have different bids in each campaign. And you kind of have to guess where to start your bids. You can't know exactly where to start them. And oftentimes in the medium priority and the low priority campaigns where we're going for the highest quality traffic, people start with their bids too low. So you're not actually getting much traffic there. And so you want to look at your search impression share, your search absolute top impression share. And if those metrics are low, they're expressed as percentages out of like 100%. If they're like less than 10%, then your bids are too low. You need to bump those up and get more traffic, of the good traffic. And that can, in and of itself, just change things up a bit for you from that perspective. So you have to look at your traffic and make sure the quality is decent, right? Now, if that your funnel, your campaign funnel isn't leaking, like if you're looking in your low priority campaign, and you're seeing generic terms, you got a problem, right? And so you need to fix that. And if you're in our course, there is many videos in there where I talk about fixing that, particularly in our elite membership. I've done so many group coaching calls where we've talked about Google Ads. Go and watch those. And if you're not in our course or our elite membership, go and get those things, because literally this is where you're going to get hands-on help for fixing this problem if you want it, right? So you look at your traffic quality, but that's not the only factor. It's not just like a case of flicking on Google Ads and you're going to start making sales. Sometimes it is, but often it's not. You need to then go and look at your website. So once again, if you're in our course, you launch your ads immediately. You should go into the grow phase of our course and start learning about how to do marketing, and particularly the conversion rate optimization piece. If you're getting good traffic, like good quality traffic that indicates that people are in the market to buy the products that you sell, they're then going to your website. Now, if the sale's not coming through, it's got nothing to do with your ads. They're doing their job, right? They're sending the traffic in. That's what ads do. That's all ads do. They send traffic in. They don't generate conversions in and of themselves. If they're getting to your website and you're not seeing the conversions come through, then there's something going on your website, or there's something going on with what's communicated to people on your website as it compares to the rest of the market. Because Google Shopping is a comparison shopping engine. That is literally the point of Google Shopping, is that people are finding products that they want and they can compare sellers of those products and products together based on price, based on shipping, based on taxes. And so oftentimes I will see people just have their pricing set wrong, or some other factors on their webpage where their competitors, and you'll often see if your pricing's out, you'll have a low click-through rate. Or if your ad position is low, you'll have a low click-through rate. That's a good indicator of those things in your ad, Google Ads, that is. But what's a
good click-through rate? Because I know that's the first question someone's going to say, right?
Yeah, so I wouldn't really worry about it in your high priority campaign, but a good click-through rate to aim for in your medium priority and low priority is 1% or higher, right? And it could, in low priority, it could be quite a bit higher. And so, but that's a good, like if your click-through rates are like 0.5%, 0.4%, 0.3%, usually what that means is that when the customer's looking at the Google Shopping results page, you're way down the bottom of the listings. And Google Shopping listings are often like organic search listings. Like the top spots get a lot of the clicks just because they're the top spots. Not necessarily because they have the best website or the best this or the best that. They're just at the top. They're the first thing people see, and so people click on them, right? So oftentimes, low click-through rate, if you've got a low click-through rate and a low search impression share, or a low click-through rate, a high search impression share, but a low search absolute top impression share, it means your ad position is low, right? And so simply increasing your bids a bit can bump you up those rankings and will get you more clicks and might get you more high-quality clicks as well. So that's the thinking on that. But then you have to consider other things. What's your offer? What does it look like? Like I said, if you're in our course, you go into our growth phase, you're going to learn about how to do that, how to work that out, what to say on your site. Because when your customers get to your website from Google Shopping, they're now thinking about who is the right person to buy this product from. Yeah, I'm convinced this is the right product for me to buy. They're now thinking about who should I buy this from, right? And so you have to persuade the customer on your product pages that they should buy from you, right? Or the little, I don't want to call it a hack because it's something you should be doing, but the hack for this is get customers to call your business. Like literally, I think this is the biggest way you can win when you're new. If you can get more people to call you and have a conversation with you and experience you helping them, which is what you should be doing, you're going to make more sales. But not only are you going to make more sales, You're going to learn more about your business and about what you are or aren't saying that you should be saying, right? So if you get somebody to call you into your business, and the easiest way to do this is to put something on your product page that says, call us for the best price on this product, with your phone number next to it. Make it click to call, make it big and bold. If you're getting no calls and you do that, I guarantee you'll start getting more calls if you do it right. And yeah, if you have to give them a discount, great, give them a discount. I don't care. But the point is to get people to call you so that when they call you, you can serve them and then ask them some questions. And you can say to them, hey man, is there any reason why you wouldn't buy from us? Or are you thinking about buying this product from anywhere else? Oh yeah, where is that? Oh, right, yeah, that website. Why would you want to buy from them? Like, this is literally, you need to hear this. Like, Jon and Ben can blow on about conversion rate optimization and tips and tricks till the cows come home. But the ultimate source of truth on this is your customer. It's not some guru online who's going to tell you best practices for what you should do on your website. Those things can be good. Sure, but at the end of the day, you need to get into your customer's mind, because only they can tell you where they consider you in terms of your market, your niche, who you're competing against, right? And you need to ask them directly. They're not going to volunteer that information. And so the more you can speed up this process, and I know from experience that there's going to be about 5 out of 100 people who hear me say this who are actually going to do it. And every time they do, they win more, right? Everybody else is just going to ignore me and go, oh, yeah, I'm not going to do that, blah, blah, blah. It literally works every single time, right? So go and do that. Like, literally, I would say that is the biggest thing you can do, is speak to more customers. However you got to do it, whatever you have to give up to do it, I would say just give it up, like price, discounts, free gifts. I don't care if you can talk to more people, because you're going to learn. And over time, you'll need to do that less, right? Because your business will get better and better, and more people will start calling you without needing that sort of inducement. I think you should always encourage customer service, and talk to people. I mean, the people I see that are doing best in high ticket dropshipping at the moment are just really killing it, both on the customer service and the sales front. Like, they're going out of their way. They're just doing more, and they get told by customers, this is the reason that I'm buying from you. I know Holly is going to be talking at our live event, dropshipbreakthru.com/live. We'd love to see you, about how to be an absolute killer at sales when you get people on the phone. And she is that. And how to teach your employees to do that. If you've got somebody doing your customer service for you, which you should at some point, how do you teach them to be a legend at sales? Holly's going to be taking us through that at our live event in July. But like, I think that's the process I would work through. How's your traffic? If you tick that box, how does your offer on your website compare to your main competitors? So just go out and put your search terms into a Google shopping window and see who comes up. Like, it's not going to be the same every time you do it, but you can start getting some insight there. Who comes up the most? All right, go and look at their websites. Whose website looks better than yours from what they're offering to people? Like, does somebody have a better returns policy than you? Is somebody giving away a bundle or a free gift that's better than yours? Just weigh those things up. We have a process for doing that in the Dropship Breakthru course, and a little tool to help you do that. But that work that out, and then tick that box, do what you can there. And then the last thing to do is, like, for me, is just talk to customers. Find a way to get people to call you, make it worth their while, and get feedback. Like, actively seek feedback from people in your niche about what they think of what you're doing, how it compares to other people. And like, if somebody says to you, like, you hear constantly the same website that's been brought up by people as they're thinking of buying from, then that's the only one you have to worry about. You don't have to worry about any of your other competition, because your customers are telling you that they don't consider other competition to be relevant in compared to you. You just need to go and look at that website and say, how can I make people a better offer than that website makes on the same products that I sell as them? That's all you got to do. Work that out. And incrementally, by doing all of this, you're going to get better. And that's the point. I don't believe that there is usually going to be one big light bulb moment that goes off for you. Oftentimes, it's a series of incremental improvements and your sales just start to pick up and pick up. Then the last thing I'll say, I'll let you jump in, Ben. I'm sure you've got some things to say here, is sometimes as well, it can be the brands that you're selling. So I've said this a lot of times before as well. You go through launching your first business. You get some brands on board. Let's say you've got a niche list with 20 names on it, or a supplier list with 20 names on it, or 30 names, or 40 names, or whatever it is. You do a bunch of calls. You make a lot of contact. You get some yeses. You get some nos. You get some maybes. You get some no responses, right? And maybe you get like 5 yeses, and you're like, yes, I'm going to go ahead and launch my business now, which you should, right? For sure. That's definitely fine. Any number really is fine to get started, right? It's not about the number. But there are some brands in niches that just don't sell that well, or they're super competitive, or there's just something about them and people just aren't really buying those, or aren't really going to buy those from you ever. And if you just happen to get a series of those brands and you didn't hit any of the brands that people really want in your niche in the beginning, once again, it's not your fault. There's nothing to worry about here. Sometimes that can just lead to low conversions. So I always say to people, once you've gone live, you get your ads running, you start managing that, keep calling suppliers in your market, in your niche. Keep calling them, because sometimes with the paid ads, there are just some brands that do better than others. And if you don't have them, you're not going to do as well as if you did have them. So if you can go and get them on board, really keep pushing hard on that front. That in and of itself can sometimes make all the difference. And I've literally seen that so many times with students where I've told them to go and do that. They've gone and got a few more brands, have started increasing their sales just by adding those products to their site and into their marketing and their ads. Once again, some brands sell well in ads, but not well organically. Some brands don't sell well on ads, but sell well organically, like with organic traffic as well. So it's not like what I'm not saying here is for the brands that you've got, if you're not making sales on them, you should like chuck them out the window and say, well, they don't work. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying go and get some more at the same time, right? I mean, one of your superpowers as a high-ticket dropshipper is that you can sell as many products as you like in your niche with very little overhead in doing so. Like as compared to a business that has to hold stock in a warehouse. They can't just go out and add 300 product lines tomorrow because that's going to cost them hundreds of thousands of dollars. There's a big investment for them. They can't compete on that, but you can. You can go and add 300 and yeah, maybe you're going to pay somebody to help you upload it. There's a little bit of time investment there, but it's not costing you anything really. And then you can go out, put those offers out into the market and see which ones start working for you. That's one of your superpowers here to offset all the downsides of dropshipping. One of your advantages of dropshipping is that you can literally sell a product tomorrow that you just got approved for today without thinking about anything really. You can go and put it out there in the market and see if it gets any interest. And I think you got to take advantage of that power.
I think the hard part in the beginning is really thinking it's all going to happen, like you said, quickly. And so I pulled up while you were talking over here, my original P&L from the3dprinterguy.com in 2015. And just looking at like, one, what did I spend on Google ads? So this, again, 9 years ago. So, chuck 30% inflation on this at that point. So mark these up 30%. But in May, I spent $550. In June, I spent $450. In July, I spent $550. In August, I spent $600. Like, I'm not spending that much money to get this much data. But I am doing one thing that we preach to is get the right keywords going to your page. People aren't coming to the 3D printer guy on the term 3D printer or anything else in high priority that Google now loves to shove in there. They're coming on brand name, product name, which is where most of your value will come in the beginning. And if you don't have those searchable, you do have to start working valuable terms down your funnel. But if I go look, like I made 4 sales in April and May, which I combined together because I kind of did a half month in April. I made 4 sales and I lost $50. Like that's normal. That is normal in the beginning of a business when no one knows who you are. In June, I made 7 sales and I made $500, which was huge to me back then, right? But again, normal. I made $500. I made $1,000. I made $600. It's pretty normal to be slow in the beginning. No one knows who you are. No one knows to trust you. You have all sorts of holes in your bucket. So the idea that someone's been researching your $4,000 product, they went to Google and they searched it and they landed on your site and they didn't buy. That's totally normal. Like it's not often that you buy on first click. And the problem is when you're first starting is you likely don't have any remarketing set up whatsoever. You likely have no email set up whatsoever. And so you don't have a chance to get back in front of this person. And so I would challenge you, one, get the right traffic. Two, while you're working on your website, can you go take 2 seconds to set up Google remarketing? It is a very, very simple process outlined in the course. And three, go Google Facebook DPA ads and get them set up today. It takes, again, probably 30 minutes to set this up. And you don't need to spend that much. Spend $5 a day on Facebook, spend $5 a day on Google. And now at least you have these little salesmen who are just in the ear of somebody who, while they're playing solitaire, going, hey, did you remember you really wanted this sauna? Or they're on Facebook, scrolling through their feed and just get, again, one more touch point. But you're right, John, the majority of this happens on your website, right? So can you get the right traffic? If you follow what's in our course, you're going to get the right traffic. You just may need to adjust your bids a little bit to spend where you should be spending in your low priority. But once that happens, it's all on your website. And I love the way you frame it as like, get someone on the phone, because there's no better person to tell you what's wrong with your site or why they might not be buying from you than the person who's on your site raising their hand saying, I'm interested in this product. And so if you're getting the right traffic, the rest of the time should be spent on your website. One other little tool that we've definitely talked about before is Microsoft Clarity. Go sign up for Microsoft Clarity, throw that little pixel on your site. And then when you're laying in bed at night, harkening back to a previous episode, don't be looking at Twitter or scrolling through TikTok or whatever your vice is at night. Scroll through Microsoft Clarity and just watch the people who came to your site that day. It'll probably take you 10 minutes. Watch everything at 2x speed, just see where they click, what they're scrolling on, and you're going to learn something about your customer in that process. And you might be able to make, again, one of these little changes that over time becomes this snowball that turns into you being in a better place as a high-ticket dropshipper. And so there is no panacea. There is no light switch John and I can tell you to do, but there are a ton of little things that you can keep working on. And for the rest of the time you own a business, you're going to be working on more and more little things and solving problems. That's what being a business owner is. So if there's anything I have to say to those people, it's just stick with it. Like, just continue working on your business, continue moving forward. Don't just sit there with ads running going, why isn't this working? You have to continually work on your business every single day. Thanks for listening to the Dropship Podcast. You can find all the show notes for this episode at dropshippodcast.com. And if you're ready to take the next step in your dropshipping journey, we invite you to join us inside Dropship Breakthru, where John and I will walk you through step by step in starting your own high-ticket dropshipping e-commerce business. But that's not all. Dropship Breakthru will also teach you everything you'll need to know to grow your business and take it to the next level. So head over to dropshipbreakthru.com and sign up for our free training that will help you take the first steps towards building and growing your own profitable high-ticket dropshipping business.